Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark, another Mad Movie Mark movie review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1960 French-Italian drama, The Big Risk.
Il dort.
Ralentis un peu à cause du bruit.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. I had no idea. It's not that late here. But it looks like my dog is trying to sleep, though, so I will try to keep it down for you. I'm reviewing every movie that has a 100% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm giving them all a score of 1 to 10. After I watch them and score them all, I will rank them from worst to best. I started in the 1920 silent movie era, and now I'm at 1960 with The Big Risk. This movie has a 100% fresh rating from the critics and an 83% fresh rating from the audience. It stars Lino Ventura as Abel Davos. So this movie has a very strong opening. It's full of action. It's full of adventure. It's full of intrigue. It's full of big risk, if you will. So the main character of this movie, the first character that we're introduced to, is Abel Davos. Abel Davos is someone who you would characterize as not a very good person. He has been convicted of some terrible crime and has been sentenced to death in another country, but he has somehow escaped, and now he has been on the run for a while with his friend Naldi.
Lui, c'était Abel Davos, condamné à mort par contumace. En fuite depuis des années, Davos avait vu son capital s'épuiser en même temps que l'inquiétude le poussait à se déplacer sans cesse. Et lui, c'était Raymond Naldi, son ami. Pour eux, la ville n'était ni agréable ni désagréable.
Now, Naldi is a guy who just looks like he is an action drama movie star. He looks kind of like a young Burt Lancaster from The Killers, is what his body type looks like. So I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a great movie. It's got a strong opening. It's going to be fantastic. So in the beginning, we learned that they are running out of money. They've been on the lam. They've been on the run for a while, and they need to find a way to keep this lifestyle up. So they see two cops walking down the street with a bag of money, and they decide that they're going to go up to them and beat them over the head. So once they beat both of them over the head and they steal the money, they get in a car and they start this car chase scene. Now, this car chase scene, it's not chaotic, it's not wild, it's not crazy, but it is picturesque and it is beautiful. The cinematography here is amazing. As they're driving through the cities and you're looking at the buildings, perfect. I was awestruck by how fantastic the cinematography is. So after this car chase scene is done, they then decide that they need to hijack a boat. Because why not? So it's now become a Grand Theft Auto in 1960 where they hijack a boat, and once they get the boat to land, the idea is that they're going to meet Abel's wife and two sons. So when they get to land, his wife and two sons are there, but there's also cops there, and they get into this shootout with the cops. Now, unfortunately, Abel's wife dies, and so does Naldi. And I'm like, what? This is your action. This is your guy. This is the one who's supposed to drive the action. This is the guy who looks the part. But unfortunately, he dies also. So after he dies, Abel and his sons, they get out of there.
Era vestito di blu. C'era un bambino 7-8 anni e l'altro 4-5 anni, quello lì.
Grazie. Schéma des reti et le rapporte.
Va bene.
Alors les gares, les routes, les aérodromes, les hôtels surtout, jusqu'à Marseille. Les enfants, ça mange à heure fixe. Et puis ça tombe vite de sommeil.
And Abel is able to get his family to Nice. While in Nice, he calls up a lot of his friends. Now, he has friends from way back when he was a criminal who he made money for, who he did favors for. He really took care of these friends when they needed him back in the day. So he's decided he's going to call them up and ask them to come save him and return that favor. And pretty much all of them just won't do it because they like the life that they have. They no longer want that kind of life. They don't want to be mixed up in whatever he's mixed up in. So instead of actually going themselves, they send a young guy named Eric Stark to go pick him up.
Bref, tout ça c'est du passé. Aujourd'hui, tu ne devrais pas être là. C'est moi qui devrais conduire l'ambulance. Mais c'est impossible. Absolument impossible. D'ailleurs, ce serait trop long à expliquer.
Surtout que tes affaires ne regardent que toi.
Enfin, on parle et je ne t'ai pas encore remercié pour ton geste. Ça me touche, tu sais.
Now, Eric Stark is like kind of like a yellow. I wouldn't say yellow. He's green. He's kind of new. He's kind of new to this business. He's able to get an ambulance. He takes the ambulance to go pick up Abel, and they bring Abel into town in the guise that Abel is a person who is hurt and is in the back of the ambulance. Once they get to town, a few days go by. Abel decides that he still doesn't have enough money, so he's going to do one more crime, and he's going to like actually rob someone he knows this time, which sets off like this domino effect of different events. And I don't want to give up what the ending is and what happens in the ending, but I will say the ending is not great, not fantastic. So everything that really happens at the end is told to you off screen. So you don't actually see like the true ending of what happened. And it's kind of lackluster. To be perfectly honest, after I got past the opening action sequences with Abel and Naldi going through town on this car and stealing this boat, after you get past that, it's kind of honestly a little boring, the rest of the movie. I really wanted like a Pepe Le Moco here. Like Pepe Le Moco for me is like the pinnacle of this kind of movie, or it's not even as good as Grisby, which I also reviewed. I don't want to say it meanders a lot, but it just seems like not a lot is happening. He's talking to his friends. He's trying to teach his sons how to walk behind him so that no one notices them. And it's really just him trying to figure out how he's going to get out of the situation. But in all honesty, I don't ever really feel like he's in that much danger because the cops I don't feel like the cops are really on him. Like they're not closing in on him or anything. So I don't feel like he's in that much danger. And then at the end, when he decides to pull off this like last caper that he's going to pull off, there's no build up to it. Like they don't tell you what's going to happen. It's not like, oh, in a few days I'm going to do this, so let the audience know so we can build up some suspense. It doesn't happen. He just says like, here, I'm going to go like rob this guy, and then he goes and he does it, and he does it in a manner to where it's calculated, and he does a really good job with it. But when he's doing this, I still don't feel like he's in any danger. He's just kind of walking around, like, doing what he wants. His friends who are supposed to be saving him, they don't trust him. They don't want any part of this, which I understand. You know, this guy is wanted, and he's been sentenced to death. Like, why would you help some guy who's been sentenced to death? We also, as far as I can tell in the beginning of the movie, we never realize why. We never are told why he's sentenced to death. So maybe if we, like, in the beginning, right before all this action stuff starts, right before he starts shooting at people, like if we're told that, oh, he killed like 20 guys or he killed 10, maybe that would like give us something to run off of. But I feel like there's no suspense building in this movie. It's just they kind of string you along through the movie, and then at the end they're like, okay, we're gonna rob a guy and we're gonna rob a couple guys, and there's just nothing. It's I don't know. It wasn't exciting to me at all. Like I said, the cinematography is great. The acting is great. The guy who plays Eric Stark is really good at what he's doing. The set pieces are nice. The script is okay. It's just so slow, and there's the middle. It just seems like nothing's going on, nothing's happening, and I honestly had a hard time keeping my attention with this movie. I had a hard time actually paying attention to it because it's just I'm just like, when is something going to happen here? Like, when is this all going to come together and something big is going to happen? There's also in the movie Eric Stark also has a love interest. I don't know. I don't think that really like means anything. She helps Eric and she helps Abel in what they're doing, and she knows that Abel's involved with something because she sees that he has a gun when they're in the ambulance. But besides the fact that she's helping along the way, she's doing these little things for them. I don't really see a point for her in the movie. Like, Eric could have probably done most of the things that she did. It just seems like they had to pigeonhole a romance in this movie, like a love interest. And you don't really care about the relationship in this movie either. At least I didn't. I didn't like care. And again, it's about the story. It's about the character building. You don't learn a lot about the girl that he's with. You don't learn that much about him. But there's no reason for you to care about their relationship aside from the fact is that they both seem like they're good people. They both seem like they're truly wanting to help, and they both seem like in his life. At this point, he doesn't seem like he has a lot of people that he can rely on. It doesn't seem like he has a lot of people that he can trust. Now, he doesn't at first know or even think that he can trust Eric. And I guess you don't know that or trust that either, that maybe he's there to somehow sabotage the situation. But in the end, he's really the only one who is there. He's really the only one who does help. And it's someone who's completely foreign, who doesn't even know Abel before this even started. And he's the only one who's willing to help him. And like I said, to be honest, I don't like fault his friends for not wanting to help him. He's on the lam for murder, so and been sentenced to death. So why would they even want to deal with that? So yeah, I was a little disappointed because, like I said, very strong opening. It looked like it was going to be this, even the narration in the beginning of the movie. So I don't know. It's like with these type of crime thrillers, when there's narration in the beginning of the movie and it's really good narration, I'm like, okay, great. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to be a 9 out of 10. This is going to be great. I don't know. It's just something about that opening narration dialogue that just draws you in, that really gets you. But it just goes nowhere for me. The strong opening just fizzles out, and it just fizzles even more and more as you go on. I would say after the beach scene, there's like an ambulance scene in the middle, beach scene, ambulance scene. The rest is just a fizzle to me. Wasn't that huge of a fan. Wasn't that into it. But just because of the great opening, because of the cinematography, because of the acting, I still will give it an 8 out of 10. It's not a terrible movie. It's just not all that entertaining. And I was expecting, when the movie's called The Big Risk, I was expecting something big, something huge. But it just doesn't. Maybe it's because I saw Pepe Le Pew go first, and that movie was so great, and now nothing can live up to it. I don't know. But yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. I hope you join me next time for my next review, which is a Kurosawa movie that I had never heard about until I watched it. And even right before I watched it, I still didn't know it was a Kurosawa movie. So thank you. I hope you have a great day.